I think I read that you said, like on the internship, that it was an R-rated comedy that it got changed to a PG-13 comedy kind of last minute, and
Yes.
that it sort of described the frustration of an actor sometimes, that you don't have control over that. You make a decision and sign on
Well, you're
to
learning these
something.
things, and I knew from when I started and how we started Defiantly, but you go through these things and learn coming on the other side of them. So internship was an idea I had, and I had written the first draft in a couple weeks. It was very R. It was kind of the fun of getting me and Owen back together, because he makes me laugh. He's a great writer, and he also, really good writer, and he also has a very funny sense of humor. So I kind of want to get back to that. And then I gave it off to a production company and a very good director who I'm friendly with, who's very nice and talented guy. But the studio came in and said, well, this needs to be PG-13 because it's not sexual based. But the movie's already kind of going, and then they say, well, we'll shoot it both ways. A fucking weird day, right? Because you're like, well, how do I do that? If you're going to pursue it both ways, then what are you really prepared for? You're not going after something, not thinking about something. I mean, it's fine to do something PG-13, great, but you're doing that, you know? But that would have been a different subject matter. So we did we saw a lot of R stuff that was really funny early on, and then the writing was on the wall at that point that it was going to be PG-13, and it was. So we just started going, and
right.
I had younger fought a lot or said no to stuff, and you know, there's good times to do it, but there's also a balance, because if it's not your show, then you have to kind of go along with what the mission is. Where it's fuzzy is sometimes is there's a honeymoon period where everyone kind of says yes, oh yeah, we'll be great, we'll figure it out, not defined. Then when you get there, it changes on you because they kind of want to do something different,
yeah.
right? And sometimes they're right. In this case, I don't think they were. And it was frustrating because we just got done doing The Watch. So it was the same studio coming out of that I had sold the internship with, and that was rated R. And because that movie did not work, they oversteered the other way and said, well, let's go PG-13.
Right.
And so they overreacted and sort of worked from a place that was more based on their handicapping, which, by the way, they're allowed to do and entitled to do. They're the ones releasing the film. But it is a challenging thing when you're in the midst of it.
Sure.
And you're trying to figure out, well, let's take this hill. No, stop, let's take this hill. So it gives you a start and stop feeling.